the fall of O.J. Simpson?
Killer of Ron.
And Nicole was never found.
Uh, right now, I'm not going to discuss any of that. All right? Yeah, yeah, I think that's a pretty obvious question, but I'm not getting in that. I'm not going there.
You don't think that they're still out there?
I'm not going there.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Former Bollywood actor, Internet Jay here. O.J. Simpson is a name pretty much all of us have heard at some point in our lives.
I heard of O.J. Simpson. I heard of O.J. Simpson before. Family Guy, played did a whole episode of O.J. Simpson, bro.
He's not Homer's long-lost
brother, but rather a former professional football player. However, now he's best known for being the main suspect in the murder of his ex-wife and her alleged boyfriend in 1994. OJ was later acquitted in a highly publicized trial thanks to his gifted legal team. However, in 2007, he was arrested for kidnapping and robbery and has since served 10 years in prison. To make matters worse, Simpson published a highly criticized book called If I Did It, where he explained how he hypothetically could have committed the murders. Genius, right? This is the rise and fall of O.J. Simpson. O.J. or Orenthal James Simpson was born on July 9, 1947 in San Francisco, California. He rose to prominence as a coveted running back for the University of Southern California. In fact, in his senior year, he won the Heisman Trophy. He was so powerful, he was given the nickname Juice, a wordplay on his first initials. Recognizing his raw athletic talent, the Buffalo Bills selected Simpson with the first overall pick in the 1969 NFL Draft. While in the NFL, he broke multiple records, such as becoming the first running back to rush for over 2,000 yards in a single season. O.J. was easily one of the best running backs of his time. After retiring, Simpson transitioned into acting, which wasn't new for him. He first appeared on the TV crime show Dragnet while in college and took part in multiple movies in the NFL. Already famous, Simpson became even more famous by starring in the Naked Gun trilogy. According to Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was considered for the role of the Terminator by James Cameron. Ironically, O.J. would later become a Terminator in real life. Allegedly. In 1977, he met a woman named Nicole Brown who worked as a waitress at a nightclub. At the time, Simpson was still married to his first wife Marguerite, who he had 3 kids with. They soon divorced though, and he then married Nicole in 1985. The couple would go on to have 2 kids together. Unfortunately, their relationship was extremely rocky and O.J. was accused of spousal abuse in 1989. There's even a police phone call recording of Nicole scared that O.J. was going to beat the shit out of her.
You're going to hear him in a minute. He's about to come in again. Okay, just stay on the line. I don't want to stay on the line. He's going to beat the shit. Wait a minute.
Oh, this woman sound terrified, bro. Just by her voice, like she sound terrified. That this man might probably like fuck up, like.
Just stay on the line so we can know what's going on until the police get there, okay? Okay, Nicole? Uh-huh. Just a moment. Does he have any weapons? I don't know. Okay. He went home, now he's back. The kids are upstairs sleeping, and I don't want anything to happen.
I'm telling y'all, she sounds terrified, bro. By her voice, bro. Why?
Nicole herself was
accused of partying and abusing drugs. And while the two divorced in 1992, on the night of June 12, 1994, the world changed forever when Nicole and a 25-year-old man named Ron Goldman were stabbed to death outside her residence. Simpson was immediately charged and agreed to turn himself in 5 days later. However, he instead held a gun to his own head while his friend Al Cowlings drove around LA in a 1993 white Ford Bronco. The authorities followed Simpson in a slow pursuit chase which culminated in his arrest. The disheveled O.J. even left a suicide note with a smiley face on it. Simpson's trial was without a doubt the most publicized one in American history. At its peak, there were 150 million viewers, which was half of America. It's important to point out that around that time there was a palpable racial tension in the city of Los Angeles. The LAPD was under intense scrutiny after 4 white police officers senselessly beat a man named Rodney King.
Damn, they got a... Yo, the cops beat up one man with that like stick, bro, like.
in riots. Now,
The facts of the OJ case are quite graphic. Nicole was nearly decapitated after having her throat slit and suffered severe blunt force trauma. Goldman was also stabbed multiple times, including on the thigh and neck. It was apparent the murderer killed the two in a fit of rage. To complicate matters further, it was thought Goldman was dating Nicole. He worked as a waiter at the upscale restaurant Mezzaluna, which Nicole frequented. However, Goldman denied they were dating and was at her home to deliver a pair of eyeglasses left behind at the restaurant. In addition to the 2 victims, a bloody glove, a bloody shoe print, and a cap were at the crime scene. Suspecting classic foul play by the ex-husband, Detective Mark Furman then went to OJ's house and discovered another bloody glove. The 2 gloves were then matched by fiber analysis and found to be each other's pair. Shockingly, the bloody glove retrieved from OJ's residence contained contained his, Goldman's, and Nicole's blood. Considering the two men never met before, this was pretty damning. Notably, the bloody shoe print from the crime scene was found to be from a size 12 Bruno Magli shoe. When asked if he owned a pair, OJ said he would never wear those ugly-ass shoes.
If Bruno Magli makes shoes that look like the shoes they had in court that's involved in this case, I would have never worn those ugly-ass shoes.
However,
Those shoes is dumb ugly, I ain't gonna lie.
Detectives later found pictures of
him wearing them. He looked like he saw a ghost when he was confronted,
but still maintained his innocence.
That is a picture of you looking at Exhibit 1, correct?
It appears to be me, yes.
Okay. Looking at the close-up of the shoes, do you believe that those were shoes that you owned at that time?
No.
As if things couldn't get any worse, Simpson's DNA matched blood left on the rear gate at the crime scene. Beyond that, his blood, Nicole's, and Goldman's were present in his car and on a sock in his house. Oh, and the kicker? After being arrested, OJ had a cut on his left hand, which he provided several different stories for how he got. Interestingly, he had a flight to Chicago around 11:45 p.m. that same night, and his limo driver mentioned he arrived late. In order to combat the astronomical evidence against him, he hired a group of lawyers known as the Dream Team, which included Johnny Cochran, Robert Shapiro, and close friend / birther of reality TV stars Robert Kardashian. The two met back at USC, where OJ played football and Robert was the water boy. So you can in part thank Simpson for keeping up with the Kardashians. Kardashian was so committed he reactivated his law license after 20 years to help Simpson. Given that the case was so high profile, it's not surprising that there was massive drama from the beginning to the end. For one, Kardashian mentioned that he mostly served as an unpaid liaison and that his assistant babysat OJ.
You saw O.J. Simpson almost every single day. He wanted someone with him all the time. At first it was you, and after a while, enough already. And so, what did you do?
I had an assistant of mine, Nicole Pulvers, who was an attorney, and we had her sit with him all day, every day.
She was paid to go and keep him company.
Yes,
That's rather spoiled of Mr. Simpson, is it not?
very.
He also stated paintings of OJ with mostly white people at his house were replaced with pro-black ones to manipulate the jury.
You, the members of the defense team, rearranged pictures, took away pictures of white women. Paula Barbieri, whose nude picture was next to OJ's bed, put in pictures of OJ with his mother, put a sympathetic poster of a little black girl supposedly starting school that had been in Cochran's office, rearranged all these pictures. Don't you feel that you were manipulating the jury?
I did feel this was manipulative.
Shockingly, Kardashian mentioned the lead trial attorney, Robert Shapiro, thought OJ was guilty.
Mr. Shapiro told me one day that he thinks OJ went over there and he was just going to poke her tires, and she caught him, and that's when the murders took place. And I was astounded. Here is our lead trial attorney giving me this theory of guilt.
As a result, he requested that Shapiro be replaced by Johnny Cochran as the lead.
This is why you wanted Shapiro off the case and wanted Johnny Cochran?
We didn't need our lead attorney having concerns about guilt.
Luckily for OJ, Cochran jumped into action. He took advantage of existing racial tensions and accused Detective Mark Furman of being racist. When he denied making a racist remark in the last 10 years, the team trapped him by playing tapes of him saying the N-word about 40 times.
First thing, anything out of a mouth for the first 5 or 6 sentences is a lie.
This was significant because it was Furman alone who discovered the bloody glove at OJ's residence. So evidence of racism would support the idea that OJ was framed. In a move that shocked everyone, Furman evoked his Fifth Amendment right when asked if he planted evidence.
I only have one other question.
What was that, Mr.
Detective Furman, did you plant or manufacture any evidence in this case?
I assert my Fifth Amendment privilege.
This made him look extremely guilty. Cochran then focused on the gloves, which had been frozen and unfrozen many times in storage, which may have affected their shape. He had Simpson try on the gloves, but only after donning a pair of latex gloves first. OJ struggled to put them on as they were too small, which convinced jurors they weren't his.
Damn. Nah, those gloves is smash sure, I ain't gonna lie. Them little ass gloves, bro.
Cochran then championed the slogan, "If it doesn't fit, then you must acquit."
Remember these words. If it doesn't fit, You must have quit.
I don't know how ethical it was to chant a murder catchphrase, but people were doing it. After the 252-day trial, the mostly black jury acquitted Simpson, who then went home and had a party. The verdict polarized the nation, especially considering the DNA evidence was so indisputable. Kardashian himself stated it was the DNA that gave him doubts about OJ's innocence.
I ask you if you yourself doubt O.J. Simpson's innocence.
I have doubts.
Why?
The blood evidence is the biggest thorn in my side. That causes me the greatest problems. So I struggle with the blood evidence.
It's important to point out, though, that DNA evidence was relatively new at the time and wasn't as established as it is today. In a poll conducted by CNN and Time, 88% of blacks felt the jury did the right
thing. Whites, 41%. African Americans, 88%. Damn.
Compared to only
41% of whites. Goldman and Nicole's family was understandably upset about the verdict and filed a civil lawsuit, which they won. Simpson was then ordered to pay $33.5 million. After both trials, OJ was left in significant financial distress. His Heisman Trophy as well as other personal items were even auctioned off. His home of 20 years was foreclosed on and he owed $1.4 million in back taxes to California. And that was only the beginning of his problems. In February 2001, he was arrested for a road rage incident. In December of that year, his home in Miami was raided by the FBI on suspicion of housing ecstasy and money laundering. In July 2002, he was arrested for water speeding in a manatee protection zone in Florida. Well, because according to OJ, fuck the manatees. In 2007, he was arrested for kidnapping and robbery. It all started when he learned that a memorabilia dealer was trying to sell some items that he felt belonged to him. So he arranged him.
Damn, it seems like this man cannot stay out of trouble, bro. Cannot stay out of jail, bro. You know, damn, what's wrong with this man, bro? So him.
with the dealer and brought
several armed accomplices. Sadly, Cochran couldn't defend him this time because he passed away from a brain tumor. Kardashian had also died from esophageal cancer. He then forcibly took the memorabilia along with several other items at gunpoint. OJ was sentenced to 30 years in prison but was granted parole after 9 years in 2017. Around that time, Simpson published a highly criticized book called If I Did It. The book discussed how he hypothetically could have committed the murders. Simpson's former manager claimed he didn't even write the book but just accepted money to put his name on it and provide an interview. Oh, and don't forget this TV interview discussing the book where he referred to everything in the hypothetical while smiling. It was more sus than a character from Among Us.
Let's just go back and do the details. Where did you park?
See the detail.
You park
in the hypothetical in the alley.
Right. You park in the alley.
Yeah.
And you put on a wool cap and gloves.
In the hypothetical, I put on cap and gloves.
Right. And
ironically, If I Did It convinced even more people to think he was guilty. Not surprisingly, he was cancelled after a few months. In 2006, he also starred in a prank TV show called Juice. In one episode, he tried to sell his white Bronco with a bullet hole in it. In another, he unironically wore whiteface. Cringe, I know. Currently, Simpson is a free man. The now 75-year-old reportedly lives in a gated community in Las Vegas. He golfs often and is active on Twitter. Twitter, the social media platform of choice for mass murderers. In addition, OJ continues to be embroiled in legal drama as he never paid the $33 million he owed from losing his civil suit. That number has now ballooned to about $60 million, which he doesn't plan to pay at all. Oh, by the way, Simpson gets paid $25,000 a month from his NFL pension, which isn't subject to creditors. His reputation has been soiled beyond repair, and nowadays most people agree that he was guilty. Even a former jury member changed his mind regarding OJ's innocence. Over the years, OJ was memed on SNL, was the subject of many documentaries and TV series, and served as the butt of countless jokes. OJ may never confess to murdering the two victims. And well, he can't be tried for the same crime twice. So you have to decide what actually happened for yourself. Personally, I think he is guilty, but also believe Furman may have planted evidence. I mean, why else evoke his Fifth Amendment right when asked? There's still plenty of mysteries regarding the case, though. Like, who else could have committed the murders if not OJ? Or why didn't OJ have more blood and bruises on him after the violent murders? Maybe time will give us all the answers.
Okay, that's the vid, bro. Yeah, bro. Let me know what y'all think, bro. Do y'all think OJ did this crime? Do y'all not? Let me know what y'all think about this situation involving OJ Simpson. Okay, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes. We're just checking out you are.